I used to have such a high grocery bill, and then I realized it was because I wasn't grocery shopping in a smart way. Back in the day, I used to just buy whatever I wanted, but these days I've picked up a lot of tips and tricks on how to lower the cost of my grocery bill and make sure that I'm not spending too much money while still enjoying all of the food that I do get. The biggest difference is just buying everything that I can that's on clearance or that's on sale. Most of the time, food that's on clearance isn't actually bad, it's just about to expire. Expiry dates are kind of iffy though, especially with grocery stores these days. They tend to just put an expiration date that's well before the time that you should throw out a food. I like to go to my local Kroger or QFC, which, fun fact, is actually part of the Kroger family, and buy whatever items they have that are on clearance because that lowers my grocery bill by a lot. Walmart has also recently started putting a lot of different items on clearance, and I'm all over the clearance items. The other day I picked up an entire loaf of French bread for literally 42 cents. If you have bought French bread recently, you know that has just gotten so expensive. When I was little, I remember the French breads and all of those fancy breads being like $1 for the entire loaf, and these days they're just so expensive. My birthday is coming up, so I was looking at all of the different cakes and stuff they have on sale, and I'm thinking about picking up one of the tiny cakes for me and my friends to enjoy when my birthday actually does roll around. So let me know what your favorite flavor of cake is, and I might try that one. Another alternative that I was looking into for my birthday treat was the different kinds of donuts, so I was also taking a look at the discounted donuts. What is your favorite kind of donut? Mine bounces between Oreo donuts or Bavarian cream donuts. Both of those are so delicious. They're insanely unhealthy, but I figured that it's okay to have them as a one-off treat on your birthday. I'm one of those people who literally spends an hour or two in the grocery store. I will take a look at every single item. I'll take a look at the nutritional label. I'll take a look at the deals. I'll break down the price per ounce and compare it with the other brands of the same item. That is truly the way that you have to be in order to not have an outrageously high grocery bill. It is kind of sad that you have to do this in order to just be able to afford basic items these days. However, that is unfortunately the state of the economy. And the more times that I do it, I actually find myself enjoying it. It's such a thrilling feeling being able to kind of hunt for the best deals and break down items by the prices and make sure that I'm getting the best deal that I can. Another thing that I really like to do that has substantially cut down on my grocery bill is taking a look at the items that from the previous season that are typically on super sale. It's the best way of being able to get fun decor items because I literally love decorating and redecorating my apartment based off of what season we're in. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I love decorating and buying things from IKEA or the Goodwill outlet. What is your personal favorite type of bread? I've bounced between wheat bread, rye bread, and sourdough bread recently. All three of them have such unique flavors and are so interesting texturally. I'm not the biggest bread person. I've found different kinds of carbs in order to satisfy that macro, but occasionally I do love getting different kinds of bread and just trying out what different kinds of things and toppings that go on them. I've been in a peanut butter and jelly kick recently. It's so nostalgic to me to go back to my roots of sandwiches. I always go to like the fancy sandwiches. Sometimes the most simple things are just so great for you. I genuinely do love the simple things in life, and it's more of a flavor fatigue for me, so I really enjoy buying small amounts of things that I can then vary in order to be able to get the best flavor out of everything, so I'm enjoying everything that I do eat without getting really tired of it. I have so much respect for every kind of person who can just meal prep and eat the same thing weeks on end, but I'm not one of those people. I've discovered that the way to make me happiest in life is to have multiple kinds of flavors every single day. You'll rarely, if ever, find me eating the exact same thing 2 days in a row. I think it's because of how I was raised. My mom was not a leftover mom. She hates leftovers, so she only ever cooks enough for our family for one day, and then she does something else the next day, and that's translated from childhood to adulthood for me for sure. That is why I've really been chasing different kinds of deals and stuff so that I can make sure that I'm not getting tired of one particular flavor while still maintaining a lower grocery bill. Let me know in the comments below if you're one of those people who can meal prep and have all of your meals be the same thing for a week, or if you're more like me and you need more variety in your day-to-day. I want to be one of those people who can just meal prep and just get it over with. I would love to be able to batch cook everything and not have to worry about cooking during the week. That would be so ideal for me. Unfortunately, I just can't get behind it. I tried doing it a couple of times, especially with my breakfasts in the morning. I've made overnight oats, and by the end of my overnight oats, I'm so tired that I end up wasting it instead of eating it. So I've stopped doing that, and now I just make one little thing of overnight oats the night before. And I meal prep like that so that it still saves me some time, but it doesn't go to waste. The grocery store produce section is such a scam. The biggest thing that I have done in order to shave off extra amounts from my grocery bill is just no longer buying things that aren't on sale. And I'm not talking about just like the sales that you're seeing. I'm talking about like super sale, like a loss leader. Finding all of the different kinds of loss leaders and just exclusively buying loss leaders is the biggest tip that I can give anybody who wants to cut down on your grocery bill. Oftentimes stores will try to give you a super good deal in order to just get you in the door. Safeway or Albertsons, aware of that grocery store brand, is infamous for doing this. All of their prices are ludicrous. They're so much more expensive than pretty much every other grocery store in my area, but the loss leaders in particular are really good deals. There were peanuts that were available 2 weeks ago that were on sale in the Safeways that are near me. Now, an ordinary peanut from Planters would be about $3 to $5 depending on how big your packet is. The loss leader would go for $1.27 for 16 ounces of peanuts. That is a really good deal. I happen to love peanuts, and I've been trying to get more healthy fats as well as a good source of protein. I bought so many different peanuts during that sale. Things like that are pretty much the only kinds of produce that I will buy these days. Now, big caveat to that being, if I'm craving something or if I want something in particular, of course I'm going to go and buy it. I'm not going to deprive myself of any particular thing, especially if it's like a really bad craving or if it's something that I've been wanting for a while. This is just a way for me to remain more price conscious. I found that doing this not only helps to shave off a lot of money from my weekly grocery bill, it also makes me more adventurous with my eating. That's something else that I'm working on. A lot of people typically call me a picky eater, and I can admit that I do have a advanced palate, if you will. Being able to only purchase the loss leaders has expanded my palate so much. I now genuinely enjoy so many more fruits and vegetables than I did before I was doing this. When I was so rigid in my grocery bill, I would pretty much only ever get the same kinds of produce. Nowadays, I have so many different kinds of fruits and veggies that I love, and it's making me healthier, which is another really great positive about this. Of course, no trip to the grocery store would be complete without taking a look at all of the different kinds of ice cream that are available. I happen to have a lot of different ice cream that's already in my freezer, so I didn't end up getting anything. One of the biggest tips that I can give you in order to stop spending money at fast food places or ad hoc restaurant visits is to keep frozen items in stock on your freezer. It saved me so many times when I didn't feel like cooking after a long day of work, or whenever I was going out and came home and was hungry, and I no longer need to go to a restaurant unless I want to go to a restaurant. Restaurants have become a special occasion. I very rarely go out to different kinds of places to eat just because I don't really like eating out that often. I very religiously try to cook at home. It's healthier, it's cheaper, and most of the time restaurant food isn't even that great, if I'm being honest, especially these days when they charge you an arm and a leg for a basic meal that I can 100% make at home for so much better. Maybe I'm not the person who can make it at home for better, but I know enough people who are amazing cooks. They can make it at home so much better, and it's better for your wallet, it's better for you. Restaurants are low-key overrated these days. They're just expensive traps for you to spend a bunch of money and leave not feeling 100% satisfied. I'm waiting for the day that the headlines are gonna read, Gen Z has killed restaurants, because you know that they're coming. They've come for Gen Z for literally everything else, and it's because I think that people are waking up to the fact that most of the time going out and spending money for things that you can do at home for so much cheaper is just not worth it anymore. Back in the day, it genuinely was an experience to go out at a restaurant or go and get coffee. It was like a very special thing. And these days, the prices that they're charging for these services are no longer making it worth it to go out and drop like a couple $100 on a very expensive meal that you might not even end up liking. Speaking of things that are just too expensive, cereal has just gone off the rocker recently. I don't know one person who is willing to buy a box of cereal for $9 for like 20 something ounces. That's just so ridiculous. I don't know why companies do this. I think it's because they're trying to make you feel like the sales prices are better, but honestly, I don't buy cereal unless it's like on super clearance. I found a box of cereal for $1.05 the other day, and I swooped that up. And I've done that with so many different kinds of foods. I've realized that I don't actually need those kinds of foods to be happy with what I'm eating. That is all for today. Let me know some of your grocery bill saving tips so that I can start incorporating them into my routine. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!